let us consider one more example. So our first approach is to construct a heap out of this. So 250 minus 6, 25, 150 minus 40 and 700. Now what do we do? In bottom up fashion, we convert this heap into a max heap. So now our approach is to convert this into a max heap. So by definition, this one is a max heap, this one is a max heap. Please note that we always start from the leaf and then like this we go. Then this is a max heap, this one is a max heap. Now we are focusing on this subtree. When we focus on this subtree, we see that its subtrees are max heaps, but this one is not. So compare this, pick max, and that max you compare it with this. Then go for a swap. So you get 200, 50, 25, 150. Then if you compare and then swap, this is what we get. Now we see that this one is also a max heap. Now we shall focus on this subtree. When we focus on this subtree, we see that this one is a max heap, this one is a max heap, but this one is not. Again compare, pick max, swap it with this. So we see that we get 200, 700 minus 50 minus 6. On this side it becomes 150, 50 and 25. Now this one is a max heap, this one is a max heap. We focus on this. When we focus on this, we see that it is not. So we compare and swap. So we bring 700 to the top, then 200 down, then 150, 25, 50. On the other side, minus 40 and minus 6. So when we bring this, we check, do we need to perform any more swap or comparison? We see that when we bring this is max compared to these two, which means no further violation, we can stop our algorithm. But there are examples which we have seen before, where if there is a violation, I will have to swap it with this, then I will have to swap it with, that's like order H. So if max violation, then in the worst case, what can happen? In the worst case, violation can happen at H places. In the worst case, there are H violations. Correct? So there is a violation at this place, there is a violation at this place, there is a violation and so on. So there are so many violations. So what can happen? It may so happen that with respect to the root there is one violation, and with respect to this there is a violation. So like that it goes all the way down. Correct? Now let us estimate. Let us estimate what is the cost and the comparison cost and how many times we need to do all that. Let's do it now. Also note that at each level we incur two comparisons. So we incur two comparisons. At this level 2 we compare with these two, and then one comparison with this, swap, then compare these two, then compare it with this, if required swap, and so on. That's precisely what we are doing. Okay, now let's get into the analysis. So listen carefully. We are doing it in bottom up approach, right? So these are all the set of leaves, and by definition they are all max heaps. After that, what are we doing? We are going one level up and then checking is there a violation with respect to this subtree, given that this is a max heap and this is a max heap. Then we get into the next subtree, then we get into the next subtree. Once we are done with that, then we get into the next subtree, one level up. Like that we go all the way up to the root. So please note, let's look at this tree so that you can appreciate things better. So you have constructed a heap on n nodes. Okay, so this is a tree on n nodes. So how many are there? There are 15 nodes are there. Now this one, this alone you see, the last level alone, and our first question is how many leaves are there, or equivalently how many max heaps are there at the last level. Then we will ask how many nodes are there at this level, equivalently how many max heaps are there at this level, how many max heaps are there at this level, and so on. Please note how many are there. There are n by 2 power. Okay. As of now, let's just do this. If you look at this, there are 8, which is this, right? Then how many are there at this level? This would be n by 4. Correct? Now, how many are there at this level? There are n by 8. So like that it goes. How many are there at this node? It is n by 16. Then we stop. So this many nodes are there at each level. Most importantly, suppose there is a violation. Now at this place there cannot be any violation, right? Rather, if you just focus on this, the height of this one is 0. If you look at all leaves, the height of any leaf or a max heap is 0. Then we focus on this subtree, right? If we focus on this subtree, then what is the height of this subtree? It is 1. Then we go one level up. What is the height of that subtree? The height of that subtree is 2. Okay. Why did we bring height into the picture? So there are this many nodes whose height is 0, and you don't need any cast to set right the property because by definition they are max heaps. Now you look at this. There are this many nodes, and for each of them the cost is 2. And how many times we do this? We do this h times, where the height is 1 in this case. Then we go one level up. And how many nodes are there? This many nodes are there. And cost of comparison is 2. And how many times we do that? We do that with respect to the height, or 2 times we do that. So which is why I brought the height into the picture. So now you can rewrite this. So you can say at this node, at this level, there are n by 2 power h plus 1 nodes. H is 0, so which means n by 2. At this level, there are n by same thing, 2 power h plus 1. What is our height for this subtree? It is 1. So now it is n by 2 square, which is this. Now, what is that we are saying? At each level, we see that n divided by 2 power h plus 1 nodes are there. And if there is a violation, then it can go all the way down. That is given by height. At each level, we incur two comparisons to check whether there is a violation or not. That's all. So we just have to bring in the number of nodes and the height and the number of comparison. With that, the analysis is done. So we see that if you look at a heap on n nodes, something like this, and when we run our algorithm in bottom-up fashion, we need to take the following things into account. At this level, there are n by 2. At this level, there are n by 4. At this level, there are n by 8. You can also see this as a heap of height 0, and this also you can see it as it is a heap of height 1. So which means this is a heap of height 2. Now, when we do this, what is that we do? We start here, then we go to this part, then we set it right, then we go here. Suppose there is a violation. Then how do we identify that there is a violation? We compare these two and then compare it with this. So we incur two comparisons to get to know there is a violation or not. Then we swap. Again, there may be a violation, so we compare and then swap. So how many such violations can happen? It is 2. That's precisely the height. Which means, so T of n is the construction cost, right? Or build heap cost. So the construction cost is the following. There are this many nodes at each level, and we incur this many comparisons to check whether there is a violation or not. A number of such violations is so much. Now what can happen? H can be 0 and you can go all the way up to this. We know that the maximum value of H is theta of log n, which we have already derived, right? So I can be 0, I can be 1, and I can be theta of log n. Now there are this many nodes, and if there is a violation, then it can go all the way down, right? How many times it can violate? It can violate this many times. At each time we incur this many comparison to declare whether there is a violation or not. So this would be our total number of comparisons, and the summation depends on H. Things that are not having H, you can take that out. So you can even write it is lower bounded by something, upper bounded by something, and so on. So we get to see that n we can take it out, and the other term is 2. 2 also you can take that out. There is a 2 from this that can be taken out. Then what is left is h by 2 power h. Okay. So we can assume n is a power of 2 power k, or we can lower bound and upper bound. Any analysis is fine. So we are assuming the case where n is a power of 2, and with that I am simplifying this part. So this is what we are getting, right? So summation h by 2 power h, and h runs from 0 to theta of log n. And this is a constant. It is, say, at most something, say 2. So now this one is at most 2n, which means it is theta of n. Okay, you can either refer my scribe, or if you substitute, and you will easily get it. So idea is this. So if you expand this, what do you get? You get 0 by 2 power 0 plus 1 by 2 power 1 plus 2 by 2 square, like that it goes, right? And you can look at this series, x power 0, x power 1, x square, so on up to x power n is x power n plus 1 minus 1 by x minus 1. Correct? Now what is that we want? 1 into of 2 into 1 by 2 the whole square, and so on. So it is something like this. So this is 1 into 1 by 2 plus 2 into 1 by 2 the whole square plus 3 into 1 by 2 the whole cube, and so on. So if you differentiate, what do you get? You get 1 into x plus 2 into x square plus 3 into 2 into x, and if you differentiate this, you get 1, and then 2 times x plus 3 times x square, and so on. Similarly, on the other side also differentiate this component. Next, what do? We multiply x on both sides, so we get 1 into x plus 2 into x square plus 3 into x cube, so on. You will have x into the different whatever we get from this. Now substitute x is equal to half. That's precisely what you see over here. Look at this one, x power 0, x power 1, and so on, which is x power n plus 1 minus 1 by x minus 1. Then differentiate with respect to x, you get 1 plus 2 times x plus 3 times x square, and so on. Then you multiply x on both sides, you get 1 times x, 2 times x square, and so on. That's precisely what we have. That is 1 into half plus 2 into half square plus 3 into half cube, and so on. So in this you substitute x is equal to half, and when you simplify the right hand side, whatever we get is precisely what I've substituted here. So we see that that becomes a constant. So now we see that h by 2 power h is at most 2, which means it is this. So quite elegant analysis that shows that one can build heap in theta of n time. This is really what we were looking for. It is much better than the top-down design. Top-down design, it is theta of n log n, whereas the bottom-up design is theta of n. Fine? Okay. Now you can look at the analysis from one more perspective. You can look at it this way. So if you look at say this tree, so what is happening, suppose you look at this node. Now you see that there is a violation After incurring two comparisons, you see that there is a violation. Then we get into this subtree as part of recursive subproblem, which means this subtree is pruned. Or we get into this subtree and this subtree is pruned. So now what happens from T of n, this is roughly n by 2, right? There are 15 nodes. This has got 7, this has got 7 plus 1, correct? So roughly it becomes T of n by 2 plus 2, correct? So when there is a violation, we get into this subtree or we get into this subtree. But the cost is this. This is one picture. What about the other picture? So what if the tree is something like this? Now there is a violation. Now one can get into this subtree or this subtree. You can look at it this way, roughly this one and this one. They are all having similar structure, right? So something like this is approximately n by 3 and n by 3 and n by 3. Which means when we get into, suppose this one, if there is a violation, then I am going to focus on this subtree. What would be that? That would be T of 2n by 3 plus 2. Okay, let's look at this more closely and analyze and see what is the complexity of this.